All right. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and, honestly, most misunderstood figures in all of mythology, Lord Shiva. You've probably heard him called the Destroyer, but his real story, the one told by his appearance, well, it's way more surprising. Let's get into it. So this is the big question, right? Why would a god with cosmic power show up looking like an ascetic, covered in ash, wearing a human skull? And trust me, none of this is just for show. Every single symbol is a key to unlocking a seriously profound philosophy. You know, to really get a handle on Shiva, you have to start by embracing the contradictions. He isn't just one thing, he's everything, all at once. And it's right there, in those paradoxes, that we find out who he truly is. I mean, think about it. On one hand, he's the ultimate yogi, meditating for ages, completely detached from everything. But on the other hand, his love story with Parvati is seen as the absolute ideal of a committed, eternal partnership. And this whole destroyer label, it's not negative. It's actually a compassionate act of dissolving illusions to make way for new creation. Okay, so let's unpack those powerful symbols because they can look a little intimidating at first glance, but really they represent a complete and total mastery over the human condition itself. That tiger skin he wears? It's all about his victory over our most primal animalistic urges. The skull isn't some gruesome trophy. It's a powerful symbol of justice. And the ash? Oh, the ash has an absolutely incredible story all its own. You see, the ash on Shiva's body isn't just any old ash. It is literally the remains of Kama, the god of desire. He burned desire itself and then wore the evidence on his own skin. It's this profound statement of absolute self-control. In a world obsessed with fleeting beauty and passion, this is a seriously powerful message. So what's the deal with the skull? Well, get this. During his own wedding, Shiva noticed the priest, who happened to be the god Brahma, looking at his bride, Parvati, with lust. In a flash of anger, Shiva struck off the head that held that impure thought. But, and this is the part that changes everything, the story doesn't stop there. Even though he did it for justice, Shiva still had to atone. He was bound by Dharma, the cosmic law, to carry that very skull and live as a beggar for years. Now, you might hear all this destroying desire stuff and think it sounds a bit, well, anti-love. But it's actually the complete opposite. It's the very foundation for the purest and most powerful form of love there is. So, the philosophy makes a really clear distinction between kama and prema. Kama is that raw, physical attraction. You know, that love at first sight feeling. It's powerful, but it can be fleeting. Prema, on the other hand, that's the deep stuff. It's a spiritual bond built on a shared path and real understanding, not just looks. And this is where a lot of modern relationships can hit a wall, right? We often mistake that intense feeling of attraction, kama, for real love. But when a relationship is built only on that, what happens when the initial spark starts to fade? There's nothing deeper holding it together. And that is why the union of Shiva and Parvati is eternal. It's a perfect example of prema. Because Shiva dealt with lust first, he made sure their bond was forged out of something way deeper and more resilient than simple attraction. Okay, so this whole idea of commitment to a higher principle, it brings us right back to that story of Brahma's skull. See, it wasn't just about punishing someone. It was about showing that there's a universal law that applies to absolutely everyone, no exceptions. I mean, just think about the implication here. If the supreme being himself, the Lord of the universe, has to face the consequences and follow the laws of karma and dharma, then nobody gets a free pass. It's this powerful statement that cosmic order and justice are absolute. And his atonement wasn't quick. It was this epic, years-long journey. He wandered from the sacred site of Kedarnath, forced to beg for food using that skull, all the way to Badrinath, which is a place sacred to Lord Vishnu. And it was only there, at that specific spot, that the skull finally fell from his hand, showing his penance was finally complete. Now, did you catch where that journey ended? At one of Vishnu's holy sites. And that little detail, it unlocks another mind-blowing concept, one that totally flips the script on the whole idea of a divine pecking order. It's the classic question, isn't it? When you have all these powerful gods like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, you can't help but wonder, who's number one? Who's the most powerful? But the answer here completely sidesteps the whole idea of competition. There's this incredible story where Lord Vishnu is worshipping Shiva with 1,000 lotus flowers, but he realizes he's one flower short. So what does he do? Without a moment's hesitation, Vishnu, who's known as the lotus-eyed one, offers up one of his own eyes to complete the offering. That's the level of devotion we're talking about. But it is not a one-way street. Not at all. Shiva, in turn, is said to be constantly meditating on the name of Rama, who is an incarnation of Vishnu. You see? It's not a ladder or a hierarchy. It's this perfect, beautiful circle of mutual respect and love. They literally see the divine in each other. So we've explored the philosophy, and now we're going to journey from the abstract to a very real, very tangible place on Earth that's shrouded in mystery, and it connects directly back to Shiva, his sacred home, Mount Kailash. This place is just full of strange, unexplainable things. To this day, no human being has ever reached the summit. Pilots are warned not to fly directly over it. People who go there report hearing this constant, deep humming sound, like the primordial Om. And maybe weirdest of all, time itself seems to speed up there. Visitors say their hair and nails grow noticeably faster. Now, of course, science has some pretty good theories for all this. That humming sound could be ice shifting and cracking inside the mountain. The weird lights could be atmospheric tricks caused by a strong magnetic field. But for believers, these aren't just geological quirks. They are signs of a powerful, divine presence. But get ready for this, because this is where it gets absolutely wild. Modern NASA satellites have taken pictures of the mountain, and the images show that the mountain's shape, combined with the shadows and snow, looks just like a colossal figure sitting in a meditative pose. A 21st century tool revealing an image that perfectly matches the ancient descriptions of Shiva. So that leaves us with one final question. We've decoded the symbols, we've explored this deep philosophy of love and cosmic law, but when we look at Mount Kailash, are we just looking at one last scientific puzzle waiting to be solved? Or is it maybe a powerful physical reminder that some truths aren't meant to be measured, but are just waiting to be experienced?